Hi, Dave UHRICH here. I'm going to play something for you today and show you something that I call 6-note horizontal shapes. So I'm going to play it one time for you first. So I'm going to slow that down a lot, and I'm going to explain to you what this basically is. What are the 6-note horizontal shapes? Well, on guitar, basically you have a couple of different things happening here. If you're playing pentatonic scales or modes, for those of you that know what those are. But having said that, what we're going to do is that your hands are always in these sort of standardized positions. And the 6-note horizontal shapes are practicing just those very standardized positions. In this case, what it is, it's the top 2 strings and the top 2 strings only, where we're going to be playing the first and second strings. We're going to be playing 3 notes on each string. So I'm going to show them to you, and then I'm going to show you how to practice them. So the first one in the pattern is 5th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret, or E, F, G, and then top string, E string, 5, 7, and 8, or 1, 3, 4. So A, B, C, E, F, G, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Now the way to practice these is just like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you prefer. We're going to talk about a metronome in just a little bit. But those are the notes of a C major scale, starting on E and ending in C. So all this exercise, 6-note horizontal shapes, basically is on the same strings, 3 notes per string on the B and 3 notes per string on the E, where you're going to play F, G, A, B, C, D. So the first box started on an E and ended on C. The next box starts on an F and ends on a D. So first one, second one, the next one starts on a G, G, A, B, C, D, E. This one starts on an A and ends on an F. A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, C, D, E, F, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. The next one it starts 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, B, C, D, E, F, G, B, C, D, E, F, G. The next one is, this will, by the way, also be in tablature, and you can see them. You can download those and learn them in your time. I really want to kind of just go through them so you can see. This one starts on a C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, no, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, G, A, right? The next one, in this case, starts D, E, F, G, A, B. Now this one right here, you get some fingering options. I like to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now you could do this a lot of different ways. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, or 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. But I like, especially in this key, in this position, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. And the last one is the same as the first one. E, F, G, A, B, C. So, those are what I call 6-note horizontal shapes. Now, something strange happens, in my opinion anyway, when you start playing them faster. Speed brings excitement, and probably the easiest way to explain that, right? I don't think speed is always our absolute goal, but it sure is nice, all right? Now, I'm not going to say that fast playing is the only kind of playing or better than slow playing or any kind of thing. I would disagree with all that. What I would agree with is that if your car can go fast, you might sometimes want to use that. What happens is when you're playing with more notes in a shorter period of time, it makes your slow notes even sound slower. And as well, when that opposite is true, if you want some of your fast notes to sound quicker, you juxtapose it next to something slower, a passage of slow notes. I'm not a big fan of no phrasing where you're just burning as many notes in a solo as you can. I don't like that. That's a personal thing for me. I don't. like that. But when we're practicing some things here and trying to make them musical, developing and getting our technique as high a level as we can is a goal. There's no doubt about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how now to practice these, okay? What to practice is, those are the shapes. Now I'm going to show you the basis of my technique. The most important part of my technique is these 6-note horizontal shapes, okay? I probably, and maybe even could have started the video by saying that this is the most important thing that I practice. If you were on like a deserted island and you had like only one kind of thing to practice, or one thing to practice incessantly, I would suggest you consider the 6-note horizontal shapes as the things that you overdose on. And the reason in being is because these little boxes or shapes, I call 6-note shapes, get repeated through different places all throughout the neck, okay? Well, there's other things you can do physically. This encapsulates a lot of what guitar does physically, okay? Not all of it, but a lot. And so it's a very concise exercise. It's invaluable in developing a really strong technique. Now, we do 3 things when we practice. So how does one practice on that, right? If you're like most people, you're like sitting back going, well, that's great, Dave. Sounds really logical. I like that. But how the heck did you get it that quick, right? And the leap from where learning them, okay, no matter where you are, like learning it to like getting them to kind of mastering them and then playing them really fast. How did you get here from here? Okay, so this is the secret. Well, I do 3 things, and I want you to memorize these 3 things, okay? The 3 things that I'm doing and doing this is that I repeat things, and I repeat things. Okay? Hopefully that sounded like at least a little bit like a joke, because it's supposed to be at least humorous and comical. And so Laura's not laughing, although I think inside she's laughing. She's the one saying, here we go. All right, so we'll show you Laura in a subsequent video. So here's the thing. What we're going to do is the 3 things we want to do. 1, 2, and 3. If you forget the 3 things, what you want to do is just repeat it. Okay? You don't even need to know the three rules here. What do I mean by repeat it? We're going to set up what I call little cycles and little loops. You want to practice in such a way that we're going to talk about this in a moment with the metronome, but you can put your metronome on and you can set up a loop. So the way I like to do this is no matter what speed you're starting at, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total number of shapes, right? Now of those shapes, a couple of them, well, 1 box repeats itself, so there's not 8 different shapes. Actually in this there's 6 different shapes, but we'll talk about how to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call this shape number 1, and we're going to just down, up, 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 down. Now, all right, so doing this down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, forever and ever is not also the way we want to practice. Just repeat it, and don't stop. What we're going to do is we're going to do it 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Then go to the next shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then next. 2, 3, 4. And so forth. Now what I do here is I call this a cycle or a loop. 2, 3, 4. Everything that goes up must come down. That's what is the exercise. Then you play 4 times each box and descend, practicing each one 4 times. Now, for some of you that are earlier on, it's going to take you a while just to get them together, okay? So that's a success. That's a win. You do not want to go, well, I can't play them at breakneck speeds. I must not be cut out for guitar. That is wrong. That is an incorrect thinking. What you want to be able to do when it comes to your physical machine, the physical world of playing, is we think about progress. As long as you have progress, as long as they're moving forward, you're going in the right direction. What you don't want to have is something that looks like that, okay? If you're doing something structurally wrong, this is not a chord, okay? You want to have some technical flaw. which gets me into what we're going to talk about here with some picking as well. When you start with an alternate picking motion, down, up, 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 down. So as you go through this, you'll have a down, up, down on the second string, and then an up, down, up on the first string. So that is the kind of motion here that switches using what we're going to call outside motion or outside picking, outside string skipping. What is outside? Down, up, down. So this string, this last note on the B string was with a downstroke. That means you're going to, I'm going to exaggerate here, you're leaping with an up. You're leaping over this first string and using an upstroke. In other words, you're not going down, up, down, down. So it's really important because although that's another kind of picking that we're going to do, where you're doing some small little sweep motions in between that each strings. Here you're not doing that. Here you're going to start with a down, and the next one you're going to do is an up, and the next one is a down, and the next one is an up, and then the next one is a down, and the next one is an up, and the next one is a down. Yes, Drill Sergeant UHRICH. Okay, so I want you to start out down, up, down, up, down, up. This is not the only way to pick. In fact, there are times where it's not even the best way to pick. But I want to point this out because when you ascend the scale, it's using outside switching, meaning that as you leap to a higher string, as you leap upward, you use an up. As you leap back down to a lower string, you then use a down. Those motions are best exemplified in, we're going to talk about in a technical video later in greater detail, or a different video in greater detail, about what is outside picking, what is inside picking, sweep picking, and other methods of picking, okay? Things that I call cross picking, and anyway. So, but for the purposes of this video, the horizontal shapes, as you ascend, all of your motions are leaping up, using up, and leaping back down to a string, using a down. Those motions are called outside, because the motions are outside the strings. When you descend, however, it's the opposite. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I would say over 90% of the people find this motion, descending, harder. So, if you like most people, maybe 9 out of 10, somewhere, some high percentage like that, you're going to find that they go, God, I can go up. It's easier than, ah, darn it, I'm stuck, I hit it. Oh, darn it. Sometimes, but, all right, so the reason for that is that's inside picking. What I'm going to show you is slow. Down, up, down. This note here, down, up, down, and then is an up. Holy Jiminy Crickets, right? Down, up, down, up, up, up. This note here, sometimes you feel like you hit a string below that, or sometimes you hit the string that you just left on the way, down, up, on the way up, down, up, down. Now this method is inside picking because inside, if I'm doing just the leaping, there's a downstroke, right, on the first string and an upstroke on the second string, down, up. If you try that, down, up, down, up, down, up, just do that at home, and you go, this will never work. You'll never have it, never have it. And I almost would agree with you, okay? But that's the difficult part of this. So, the context in trying to say this, you might find that descending, doing these, is twice as hard as ascending, all right? Now, by the way, there's a smaller percentage of people that would completely disagree with me, that for whatever reason, inside picking is easier for them. So all of what I'm saying, just identify yourself as the fortunate group of people that find inside picking easy, and, you know, consider yourself unlucky that outside picking is difficult. Either way, you're still on the radar. You're going to have to practice the other method, or the other direction, I should say, not other method, the other direction a little harder. And you certainly, that other people are going to be practicing a little bit less on the easy stuff. So, without getting into some argument of semantics, what we're going to do is descending is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then we're going to be talking only about the switching down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So the motions up, down, up, down, up. The change motions are down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so Now, when you're doing something like this, we want to do repetitions. All right? Sorry, I digress. This is ascending. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Repeat. Down, 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 down. All that I've been playing here is ascending or descending versions of the 6-note horizontal shapes, okay? The number one thing that has built my technique, more than any other exercise combined, is this exercise. So I consider it almost a religious experience to share this with you. So for me, I want you to practice these. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And if you forget the 3, just repeat it.